Now it's Wednesday. We started last Friday, so it's 5th full day. And the practice is the same. The main practice. Non-practice. Non-meditation. Without seeking a solution to our pain. Completely without seeking. No seeking project going on. Being open and vulnerable from the inside to the outside and back. Physical body is very useful because subconscious holding, can be felt physically. So there is some physical tension somewhere in the body, likely in the lower part of the torso and limbs, pelvic floor area, butt area, genital area, hips area, stomach, solar plexus. There is some tension there if we are holding. We all know that when we have stress or strong emotions, our stomach goes loose and tight. Muscles in the lower body get tight. I remember, I forgot which yogi teacher it was, but in different yogas there are these certain kind of muscle locks used with breathing techniques, like tightening the sphincter, tightening the muscle in the pelvic floor, tightening the muscles that you use to stop urinating, those three in the pelvic floor. And I remember there was this one yogi teacher who didn't teach that to his modern city students because he said that you already have so much tightness in that area, so it's pointless to start doing muscle locks. And he was quite right. Relax your whole lower body, including all the muscles in the pelvic floor. You'll notice that when you relax the body thoroughly, especially when you get to relax muscles that you didn't notice were tense before, the breathing becomes deeper. You start breathing with the lower belly. That's because the breathing movement can settle into the body so that it's no longer in the midsection or above it. It's more in the belly. The movement of the breath is greatest, biggest, most visible in the belly. And with it, relaxing of the lower body, directly related to subconscious mind, with it comes basic peacefulness. With basic peacefulness comes naturalness. Naturalness is a new word that I learned just yesterday, because I've been looking for these words that describe best what I try to say and convey. So naturalness, that's a really good one. Naturalness. Not superficial, not artificial. Becoming a human Buddha. Perfectly wakeful human being. And it is really simple. This is the true being, the Buddha within, our true me, true I, without contraction, that only has positive qualities. Basic goodness. Goodness that is so basic that when the clutter is momentarily away, or when the clutter of the self is seen through, light is shed through it, then this basic goodness appears magnificently. As if you had never seen the sun before, but then all of a sudden you see the sun and its light and feel its warmth. A similar thing. If you found some previously unreleased tensions from your lower body, then you will probably notice that you feel flowing sensations in the legs. Energy starts flowing downwards in the body. As if your legs come some bit more alive. It is a problem nowadays with city people that breathing is up in the shoulders. People have so much headaches and migraines because the energy is up in the head. So much thinking, very little feeling the body and doing with the body. So too much activity in the head. So there is no balance. Breathing is up, many problems come with that. But when we recognize basic peacefulness, it's a very different way of knowing ourselves and a very different way of living. Try to sit being completely open. Completely open. If you think of a house has windows and doors. All windows and doors open. Like completely open, not just little bit, but completely wide open. Sit like that. That's an analogy. Sense doors open, eyes, ears, every millimeter of the skin, every centimeter of the skin, every part of your skin. And all unnecessary muscle tensions released. Those windows and doors are not closed, completely open. Not forcibly open, but just letting go of holding. Letting go of, what is that, compulsive grip. Whether it's gross, subtle, or very, very subtle. completely without gripping, completely without seeking. With basic peacefulness, basic joyfulness, irresistible joy, kind of like being tickled. This very pure, sincere joy. Very subtle bliss, blissfulness. And also clear as a diamond, not murky even one bit. When we started this retreat, I said that for the first days we would focus on emptiness body, and that is why I have reminded of the Sutra Vipassana instructions of being aware of mind objects arising, staying, and going, and looking inside them. And also, bringing awareness to inside the head, behind the eyes, if identification with an emotional state happens. So I've given these Vipassana instructions earlier. And then I think it's time to, we have these 2-3 days left on this retreat, these extra days. So I think it's a good opportunity to look into the enjoyment body, or Sambhogakaya is the Sanskrit term. Sambhoga means pleasure that is even pleasure, harmonious pleasure. So it's not samsaric crazy pleasure, like snorting coke and having illicit sex in an orgy, not that kind of bhoga, because the word bhoga means exactly that in Sanskrit, like that kind of pleasure, but it is some bhoga, even harmonious pleasure. So the sambhoga kaya, can be cultivated through tantric deities. We have 13th and 12th Bhumi deities, as well as White Tara and Avalokiteshvara for that. So it can be cultivated, exercised through tantric deities. Also rainbow visualizations do that. Reveal that body of even pleasure, body of enjoyment, body of very subtle bliss. It's a certain kind of bliss, not gross at all, certain kind of bliss. And it's very easy to miss that blissfulness for a while in practice, like a few years perhaps, until you really get how subtle, how fine and rich it is. So we have tantric deities, we have rainbow body visualizations, and then it can be recognized during Ati Yoga that we are now practicing. So there are basically what you need to do is to start focusing on that alive, subtly blissful, and joyful aspect of the natural state. From and with that knowingness and peacefulness, but kind of give more attention to that aliveness. So here you're not focusing on the emptiness aspect anymore. You are not interested in investigating and looking into self-formation and liberating self-formation, but you're interested in the aliveness in this basic state. There is aliveness. There is a rainforest-like brimming of life in us right now. And you feel it, you recognize it. You feel, you recognize it with your whole body. And then you simply stay in that recognition. It feels literally like being in the middle of a rainforest. Rainforests have a lot of humidity, moisture. Exactly the same here. It's moist. It's not dry. Complete opposite of dry. as you can feel. And this also connects with the physical body with a certain kind of intensity, not gross intensity, but certain kind of, Sambhoga Kaya, this even pleasure. It's kind of like a art. It's like dance, it's like singing, it's like music, it's poetry, it's sculptures, it's paintings, it's ornaments, it's anything joyful. It's rainbows. Rainbows appear when there's humidity, moisture in the air. Rainbows don't appear without that moisture. So we need to have clear water, which is that clear knowing, clear selfless diamond knowing. And then when we shift to this aliveness, enjoyment body aspect, oh, we get exactly the same experience as when we properly visualize rainbow jewel. Except that rainbow jewel is an exercise that you use some concentration and focus to do, but the result, the experience, is the same as now. So this is, in Dzogchen tradition there are practices for emptiness, emptiness body, 11th Bhumi, and there are different types of meditation, Ati Yoga practice for enjoyment body. And this enjoyment body meditation is traditionally called Tögal, Thogal, Tögal. This is Tögal. This is the meditation that takes us to attainment of 12th and 13th bhumis, rainbow body. A realization of enjoyment body. Not only pure stainless diamond or clear water, but also rainbow lights emanating from those water drops. Recognizing with our whole body feeling it with our whole body. So here we are using the our physical body to recognize this Sambhogakaya, enjoyment body of the Buddha within, enjoyment body of basic wakefulness. You feel and keep feeling that moisture, that potential, pure potential of life in that humidity, in that moisture. You simply keep feeling it. But you can also listen to that moisture. Listen to that moisture. If we are using the rainforest analogy, you're not listening to the sounds of the rainforest. You're listening to the moisture, humidity of the rainforest. Listening to the pure aliveness. Relax your ears. Don't tense your ears, even though you're listening to it. Same thing with the body. You're feeling the moisture of aliveness, but at the same time keeping the body as relaxed as possible. When your friend asks next week what kind of meditation you did, you can say that, well, we listened to the moisture of reality. Did you know that reality is moist? That it's not dry? So here we have two ways, recognizing the moisture with the body and recognizing the moisture through listening, skin and ears. Can use either or both. Can alternate. Skin for some time, ears for some time. And then finally, to connect or to use the doorway of the eyes, look, see that moisture of basic awareness. Eyes open in this case, eyelids open. See if you can recognize that moisture, pure aliveness, by looking at it, recognizing it through the doorway of the eyes. A different way to give the same instruction. Moisture is something that we feel. It's something that we feel through touching it. So it's like a tactile sensation pointer. But when we are using the eyes, you can think about it this way. So when we are practicing Ati Yoga, eyes open, and if we are practicing emptiness body yoga, then you are interested about the space, basic state as space, as clear space. This knowing itself is like clear space, like clear sky. But when we switch from emptiness body, we still practice Ati Yoga, but we shift from emptiness body to light body. Then we are looking at the light in that same space. We are looking at the pure energy. We are looking at the energetic quality in that space and connecting with it through the eyes. If that is difficult to understand, difficult to get, what you can do is to go back to feeling that humidity with the body, and also look at it with the eyes, both body and eyes at the same time. This makes it a lot easier. Whatever works. Just like I asked you to keep ears relaxed, Also keep eyes, the muscles in the eyes, as relaxed as possible. You could also say that you're recognizing the enjoyment body by looking at it with your whole body. By looking at it with your whole physical body. Right, let's continue lying down. In that case, when you find it easier to feel it rather than to see it, keep feeling it. Then at some point you will get it through the eyes as well. But it's using more than one sense door. It's not necessary in the beginning. So you just get started, and whatever works to get you started, and then sooner or later you realize that, oh, I'm listening to the moisture of the reality as well as seeing the moisture of reality, or in other words, light, the light aspect of basic awareness, or energetic aspect of basic awareness. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I want to say something.
Let's continue Tagal practice. So there are different ways, just for clarity, in case if you have read classical texts, traditional texts of regarding Tagal, or received teachings from Tibetan Buddhist or Burn lineages, the presentation is similar, but there are also differences. In the Tibetan system, there are the so-called four visions, and then there are special ways of in the beginning to gaze external light, such as light of the sun, moon, or candle, and then squinting eyes and then starting to see visions. But what visions mean, it's gaining confidence through recognizing enjoyment body together with the emptiness body. So, in Tibet they have a different way to cultivate enjoyment body. It's also, I think, quite a bit more difficult for, unless you have really stable knowing awareness, it's very difficult to practice. But the way how I look at it is a bit different, and I think it's easier to understand, even if you don't have, even if your Rigpa isn't yet that stable. But at simplest, Tagal is having clear basic awareness, and then simply feeling the moisture of that same awareness, that same Buddha nature, that same basic state, feeling it, hearing it, looking at it. In short, recognizing the aliveness of this basic state, moisture of this basic state with one's whole being. This is Tagal. And as Buddha nature is something that cannot be separated from us, Tagal, in these instructions, you don't need external light to practice it, because you have it with you. I'll say a couple of words about the qualities of this enjoyment body. We practice Abahu Mani mantra, that of Avalokiteshvara, that is full of compassion. Through that mantra, through that money practice, you come to know how compassion feels like energetically. You come to know its tantric quality, its flavor, its taste. Same thing with white tara, abahu taretutare turesoha. And it has that same compassion, but has a slightly different energetic feel. Kind of lighter, more playful. You could say also like a joyful, dancing. Now we are practicing that same enjoyment body. We are already practicing Avalokiteshvara and Tara, just without the tantric images, just without mantras. But that energetic quality of both of them should be felt, recognized in this Tögal. Space of Dharma, that is the basic awareness of all sentient beings. Dharmakaya, body of phenomena. Selfless body of all sentient beings. Selfless mind of all sentient beings. That is abound with liveliness, softness, joyfulness, dancefulness, playfulness. So all these things, bodhicitta, already in this Ati-yoga, all beings, compassion, emptiness of phenomena, already included. And having said that, if there are some, you get entangled, caught up in the spider web like Frodo, then switch to emptiness practice, Sutra Vipassana. All right, to finish this session, let's do some, what do you call it? Not really rubbing, not tapping, but this. Sliding your hands over the whole body, starting with the head. There is no hurry. Scalp, face, head first, whole head. Very gently, you don't have to push hard. Ears, nose, mouth, jaws, throat, sides of the neck, back of the neck, then down to shoulders, arms, both hands, fingers, as if you had wrinkled paper and you are ironing that wrinkled paper straight. Then chest, armpits and sides, both sides, also lower belly, good. Then you can put the hands on your back as high as they go and then massage downwards. Also towards the sides. Then by shifting the weight to the other side, you can get to the other buttock. And other thigh, back of the thigh. Then shift weight on the other side to get to the other buttock and other thigh. So you can touch quite lightly, you don't have to push hard. Then both knees, behind both knees. Keep breathing as you bend your body. Calves, lower leg. Ankles. You can take one ankle at a time if it's too difficult to do both. Ankle, foot, and toes. And then the other ankle. and foot and toes. Excellent. How do you feel? If there's anything you want to share,